Israel has been under several accusations over time, certainly this year as it relates to Gaza. I want to go through a few of them.
Okay.
One of them is that Israel has been preventing medicine and food from reaching the residents in Gaza. What do you say?
It's not true. It's absolutely not true. I'll tell you who has been preventing it: Hamas. The UN has even admitted, this is their number, that somewhere between 93 and 99% of the food that the UN mechanism has tried to get into Gaza has been looted or stolen. Now think about that. That's not numbers that the Israelis put out there. The UN says about their own mechanism, it ain't working. All of it gets stolen, it gets looted, and then what does Hamas do? They turn around and sell it to the people who are supposed to get it for free. With the money they made, which by the way last year was $500 million, half a billion, they go out into the black market and they buy weaponry and they hold the hostages. They feed themselves and pay their own salaries, but the citizens do not get the benefit of that. So it's nonsense to say that Israel is starving people. Israel has allowed over 2 million tons of food to come in. Israel has helped provide an enormous level of humanitarian relief. But here's what I ask of people when they say something like that. Name a country in the history of the world, just give me one example, when a country that is attacked was ever expected to feed the country that attacked them while the war was still going on. And I ask that question. It's not just a rhetorical question. I ask it with a serious desire to get an answer. And in all the times I've put that question to particularly reporters who make that allegation, not that you didn't, but those who do, they never can give me an example, not one. And I reminded some of the British reporters that I've talked to at the BBC. I said, I can recall that the history of World War II is that the Brits were dropping a lot of things on Dresden. It wasn't food. And there were 30,000 civilians who were killed by the things that Britain was dropping on Dresden near the end of the war. Many people said, the war's already over, why are you doing it? But the fact is, I don't remember somebody condemning the Brits for trying to win a war. And the fact that civilians were killed, it was horrible. Nobody's going to say it's anything less than that. But it was not done because they just enjoyed killing Germans. It was done because they needed to stop the Nazi machine. The Nazis had already murdered 11 million people at that point. The idea that somehow the UK was supposed to be hauling in food right then, nobody can tell me that's ever happened in the history of the world. No one.
Another accusation is that the response to the terror attacks has been disproportionate. What do you say?
Every response to an attack is typically disproportionate. It could be said that the United States attack on Japan with Hiroshima and Nagasaki was disproportionate to Pearl Harbor. But would it have been better had we not done that and then had a full-scale land invasion of Japan involving Tokyo? Many people predicted that there would have been 2 million casualties as a result of that. Go through any war and you're going to find that, quite frankly, and this will be a shock to people, but there is a less substantial, disproportionate death toll in Gaza than there has been in most of the major wars in our lifetime. So this idea that Israel somehow has disproportionately taken the lives of Gazans, the truth is this could have ended with almost no civilians being killed had Hamas on October the 8th of 2023 said, we really messed up and we surrender. This has gone on for 2 years because Hamas wanted it to go on, because they've pushed for it to go on, not because it should have. And Israel has taken levels of precaution to prevent civilian deaths they never get credit for. They announce in advance where they're going to hit a target. They say, get out of this. Sometimes it might be a school, it might be a hospital, but they tell people to get out because Hamas has built a military rocket launcher, missile launcher, under the hospital within a school. And then Hamas brings civilians to that location that has been announced as a target, and then they shoot people who try to leave. This is what the story doesn't get told. And it's one that needs to be told to really, I think, illuminate what savages Hamas really have turned out to be.